Surprising facts around the US, Florida edition. Do you want to know some interesting things about Florida before you go there? So many things to learn are fun. We have facts about Florida's history, geography, and even a few cool extras. At least one of these facts is sure to surprise you. Florida is beautiful, and it's a great place to spend a week on the beach, in Everglades National Park or in Miami Beach, where there are lots of fun things to do at night. From the Spice Coast to the Florida Keys, there are so many places to go in Florida. Before you decide to go, check out these interesting facts about the Sunshine State. Number 1. Florida has almost nothing but a coast. Florida is the only state that has both the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico on its east and west sides. In fact, more than 2/3 of the people who live in the state live near the coast. Florida is not an island. Instead, it's a peninsula. This means that water is on 3 sides of the island. To the east is the Atlantic Ocean, to the west is the Gulf of Mexico, and to the south is the Straits of Florida. Florida has the longest shore of any state in the lower 48 states that are joined together. Alaska has the most miles of shore of any state in the US. Number 2. Fun in Orlando. Orlando is one of the best places to go on vacation. Did you know that Universal Studios and Walt Disney World Resort, 2 of the biggest theme parks in the world, are both in Florida? And here's another fun fact. Walt Disney World Resort is the most visited theme park in the world. It has its own theme parks like Magic Kingdom and Epcot. It's nearly as big as San Francisco. Disney World is like a city on its own. Universal Studios has the popular wizarding world of Harry Potter and is starting to catch up to Disney World as one of the best Florida theme parks. Number 3. Sea cows are friendly. The friendly sea cow lives in Florida. The best thing about Florida is the manatees. Have you ever seen one of those soft, fat sea creatures? If not, book this manatee swim and snorkel trip to Homosassa State Wildlife Park to swim with manatees. Even though these animals are safe and often friendly with people, you should never touch them. You're lucky because you can get close to manatees in Florida's Crystal River. Crystal River is also the only place where manatees can be safe because it was built for that purpose. Bonus fact, there are no mermaids in the deep blue sea, but manatees and dugongs, which are related to manatees, might have been the mermaids people have seen in the past. Obviously, they might have been confused and too tired to think straight. Number 4. The time of hurricanes. Hurricanes are famous in Florida, and everyone who lives there knows that storm season is just a part of life. If you want to go somewhere, make sure you do your research and check the weather first. Florida is a good place for these summer storms because it's surrounded by water. Florida gets hit by about 40% of the storms that come to the US. Most storms aren't that bad, but they're getting stronger every year, and the most recent hurricanes, Irma and Ian, did a lot of damage all over the state. Number 5. Beaches, beaches, and more beaches. Florida has a lot of beaches, which shouldn't be a big surprise. Some are more famous than others, but all of them are great places to spend a day having fun in the sun. South Beach, which is the most well-known part of Miami Beach, is a great place to go out and have fun at night. Dry Tortugas is as far away as you can get. Daytona Beach is famous for racing, and Panama City Beach is known for its wild spring breaks. There are plenty of things to do on and off the beach. After you've had enough sun, you can put on your dancing shoes and go out on the town. Cocoa Beach has both public and private beaches with hot sand and warm water where you can spend a day resting. These parts of the beach aren't as busy as some of the party beaches, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding a quiet spot to read a book on a towel. Number 6. It's busy at Orlando International Airport. The Orlando International Airport is the largest airport in Florida and the 7th busiest airport in the United States. Even though Orlando's airport isn't a major hub like JFK, Denver, or Chicago, that's still a pretty big deal. People fly to Orlando to enjoy all the best things to do in the city and in the area around it. Number 7. Isla Vita. Florida is mostly a peninsula, but there are islands there that make South Florida more interesting. The Florida Keys are a group of islands that are often visited by tourists. There are 800 keys in the Florida Keys, from Key Largo to Key West. There are more than 4,500 islands that are part of the state of Florida. That's a lot of islands in the tropics to visit. Number 8. Come to the party. Did you know that Florida is a state with the third most people? It may not make sense, but it's true. In fact, every day almost 1,000 people move to Florida. At the time of writing, there were 21.78 million people living in the state. When you think about how small Florida is, that's a lot. Only 65,758 square miles make up the state. To give you an idea of how big that is, Texas is 268,597 square miles, which is almost 4 times bigger. About 6.5% of all the people in the United States live in Florida. It also has the most people over 65 years old in any state in the country. You probably know at least one grandparent who went to Florida to live out their golden years. Number 9, the lowest and highest natural point, at one with the sea. Did you know that Florida is a U.S. state with the least amount of hills? Most of the state is at sea level or close to it. In reality, Florida's highest point is just 345 feet above sea level. What's the meaning of that? Well, if you want to look smart and give your friends some fun facts, tell them that the highest natural point in America is in Florida. Still not sure? Well, this means that even if you stand on Britton Hill, the highest spot in the state, which is 385 feet above sea level, you are still lower than people in other states. You can find it near the line with Alabama. Number 10. History of flight. Florida has always been interested in space, and on January 1st, 1914, the first business passenger airline flight took off from St. Petersburg and landed in Tampa. The flight was only 23 minutes long, but it changed history. Because of this, it will always be one of our Florida fun facts. Number 11. The coast of space. Space travel is something that Florida is known for. Still, rockets are launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. It's a space center that's in use. They have a place where people can go to learn about space travel and even watch rockets take off. Neil Armstrong actually took off from Kennedy Space Center in July of 1969. It's an important part of our past in space. Get your tickets to the Kennedy Space Center, they let you skip the line. Number 12. Traveling on the water. Did you know that you can drive along waterways in some parts of Florida? Florida is often called the boating city of the world because it has so many boats and waterways. There are 400 miles of rivers in Cape Coral. This is like the scenes you see of people taking boats through the streets of Italy. It's not as big or as big as it sounds, but when you see it up close, it's still amazing. That's all for the video today. We'll be right back with more such videos. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.